Welcome to Reds Focus LFC fans. Today we bring you the top 4 breaking Liverpool news headlines.
Liverpool chaos is exploding again? Salah's rage exposed? Isak under fire? And Michael Owen's warning about Liverpool's future finally makes sense. Stay with us. This is huge. If you love getting the real Liverpool updates fast, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on the bell icon. Let's dive in. Liverpool player who sent Mohamed Salah into rage revealed in explosive report. The apparent source of Mohamed Salah's rage is reportedly one of his Liverpool teammates. Florian Wirtz has been blamed as the man behind Mohamed Salah's rage, according to reports. The Egyptian great sent shockwaves through the footballing world when slamming Liverpool and manager Arne Slot after last Saturday's 3-3 draw against Leeds. Salah, 33, accused the Reds of making him a scapegoat for their disappointing Premier League title defense and claimed his good relationship with Slot has perished. The winger was omitted from Liverpool's squad in their 1-0 Champions League win against Inter Milan on Tuesday as a result of his comments. Regarded as one of the role models and leaders of the Liverpool dressing room, a Bild report sensationally claims that Wirtz's status as the future of the team is the root of Salah's hostility. The report also branded the forward as the enemy inside the Reds' dressing room. Salah's demotion to the bench in the last 3 league games, with the German starting in all of them, has reportedly not sat well with the competitive Egyptian. Liverpool are said to have long been aware that Salah possesses the biggest ego at the club, but given his extraordinary record of goals and assists, it was accepted. The report added, however, that should the winger's level of end product slip, the support he enjoys from the club will no longer exist. The report further suggests that his scathing comments towards the club shows a lack of care towards his teammates, illustrated by his silence amid the criticism Wirtz has been subjected to in what has been a slow start to his Anfield career. Despite it only being 8 months since Salah inked a new 2-year deal to extend his association with Liverpool until 2027, it remains to be seen whether the club icon has played his last game in red. Liverpool's $450 million outlay in the summer transfer window seemed to be one that would help Salah maintain longevity with more attacking help provided to the club's all-time Premier League scorer. However, the struggles of Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak since their big-money moves to Merseyside has meant Liverpool have lost much of the forward-line fluidity that saw them comprehensively win the league title just mere months ago. During Jamie Carragher's 8-minute rant on Monday Night Football regarding Salah's post-Leeds comments, the Sky Sports pundit said Salah let himself down when deciding against assisting Wirtz in what would have been an open-goal tap-in for the 22-year-old in the 5-1 win over Eintracht Frankfurt in October. Carragher explained, "Where he really let himself down, in my eyes, was this season in Frankfurt and in another game, where there's a guy who signed for Liverpool who needs a goal more than anyone, Florian Wirtz. Instead of being a great player for the club, be a great ambassador for the club and roll that ball to him for an easy tap-in and go over and give him a hug and say, 'You're the guy that's going to take this Liverpool team forward. I don't need any more goals.'" Among his comments at Ellen Road, Salah admitted he does not what his future holds for him upon his return from the Africa Cup of Nations in January. "I could not believe I was sitting on the bench for 90 minutes. That's the 3rd time. It's the first time in my career, I think. I am very disappointed. I have done so much for this club over years, especially last season. It seems like the club has thrown me under the bus. That's how I feel about it. Someone wants me to get all the blame. The club promised me a lot in summer. Now I'm on the bench, so I can say they haven't kept those promises. I used to have a good relationship with Slot. Now we don't have any relationship, and I don't know why. Seems like someone does not want me in the club. I called my mom and dad and told them to come to the Brighton game. It doesn't matter if I play or not. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm just going to be at Anfield and say goodbye to the fans before the Africa Cup of Nations because I don't know what's going to happen when I'm there. It's not acceptable to me, to be fair. If I was somewhere else, every club would protect its players. Now it's throw Mo under the bus because he's a problem in the team? Alexander Isak, out of excuses at Liverpool as damning verdict says it all. Alexander Isak looks well off it at Liverpool and can't make any excuses now, say his pundits. Liverpool striker Alexander Isak has been told that there are no excuses to be made for his current form. Since forcing his way out of Newcastle United for the Reds, he has managed to score just twice in all competitions. Those strikes came against championship outfit Southampton in the Carabao Cup and against the Premier League's 18th-placed side, West Ham. Isak's latest appearance came on Tuesday night away to Inter Milan in the Champions League, ending without a goal yet again, as the £125 million man was substituted in the 68th minute, before Dominik Szoboszlai sealed an important win for Liverpool with a late penalty. Slot deserves credit for the formation in the system, that diamond in midfield, Danny Murphy said in praise of the under-pressure Reds head coach on talkSPORT. Played 4 central midfielders, didn't play any wingers, condensed the middle of the pitch, and when you play that system, when you've got 4 central midfielders on the pitch, you're going to have good possession. Yes, they weren't particularly penetrative. I thought the 2 front boys were poor. Isak probably the poorest of the 2, let's be honest, the former midfielder concluded. Isak had arrived at Anfield following an intense transfer saga in which he experienced very little action, also nursing an injury from the back end of the 2024-25 campaign. This allowed some leeway as trained back up to fitness whilst Slot devised a strategy to incorporate his British record signing. But partway through December, talkSPORT host Jim White posed the question, is Isak now past the point of excuses? He's been fit long enough. I don't know what's wrong. He just looks weak, Murphy bluntly responded. He's not full of confidence, that's for sure. I mean, he's never been somebody who relies on his strength. He's a technical player, but he doesn't look as quick or as sharp as he did at his best, so maybe he's suffering more than most. Most players have a half a dozen games back. You start to see the improvement. He looks well off it. Fellow pundit Simon Jordan added, he's come into an environment which isn't operating at its best, is it? So he's suffering within the confines of it. But if you're a £125 million footballer that's made as much noise as he made and orchestrated the outcome he orchestrated, there's not going to be a lot of goodwill besides the Liverpool fans towards him. He's got to find a way. We are building excuses for footballers about what they do have to endure or don't have to endure. People like me will be judging it more harshly because of the condemnation of his actions. There's no doubt he's a top footballer, come into an environment where Liverpool are not anywhere near their best. They've got problems all over the field, challenges all over the place. It's not a surprise he isn't operating at the level one would have thought. Will he? Well, I think cream always floats to the surface. He will be a top player. It's just a case of everybody scrutinizing every move. You have to play through it. Murphy questioned whether Slot's new tactical setup would be of detriment to Isak. He said, they looked better defensively and gives them better control in games with 4 central midfielders. The problem is you don't get as much width for crosses, and he thrives on crosses. To which Jordan responded, and you've got to mention him with the other kid, Hugo Ekitike, who is scoring goals. He scored 2 goals on the weekend.
Curtis Jones makes Liverpool dressing room feelings on Arne Slot clear before more Mohamed Salah talks. Curtis Jones and Dominik Szoboszlai spoke after Liverpool won 1-0 at Inter in the Champions League. The rift between Mohamed Salah and Arne Slot had threatened to tear Liverpool apart, but any suggestion of disharmony among the remainder of the squad was emphatically banished at San Siro on Tuesday night. With Mohamed Salah left back on Merseyside, the Reds responded to a tough week with a memorable 1-0 Champions League win at Inter to ease the pressure on their head coach and demonstrate further signs of steadying a tortuous campaign. The Egyptian might not, at least for now, be backing the decisions of Slot, but the same cannot be said of his teammates. Are we behind the manager? We always are. We always are, said Curtis Jones, one of several impressive Liverpool performers in Italy. He is human at the end of the day. If we get beat in games, it affects him. It affects us all too, the same way it affects fans. He is a positive man. He always makes a change. The style of play has changed a bit. He is as hungry as ever, exactly the same with us. He is there with us, and we are there with him as well. Recent events shown change isn't always painless, following the explosive outburst from Salah after failing to appear in the 3-3 Premier League draw at Leeds United on Saturday, having been benched for the 3rd game in a row. The 33-year-old, who suggested he had no relationship with Slot and had been thrown under the bus by the club and made a scapegoat for the Reds' poor form this season, was subsequently left out of the trip to Milan, with question marks over whether he will play again for the champions. More talks are expected between Slot and Salah this week ahead of the visit of Brighton on Saturday, with the winger then joining up with his national team for the Africa Cup of Nations. But for Liverpool's squad, results and not individual grievances are shaping the spirit in the dressing room. If you go and win a game, it's always the best feeling. We have just won an important game against a great team. The mood is high. If we give away points against teams we should beat, then we will always be upset. We will always question why. We went back, had a look at the game against Leeds, made a change and come out here and won. And when asked if Salah's comments had changed the atmosphere in the dressing room, the response from Jones was as unequivocal as it was blunt. "No," said the midfielder. "Mo is his own man. I can't really speak on another man in his business. Everyone knows how much of a legend that Mo is. I can't really speak on it. The situation that he has got, it's not for me to say." Dominik Szoboszlai, who scored Liverpool's late penalty winner at San Siro, agrees. "I'm very close with him. It's nothing to do with the players. It's him and his own choice with what he is doing with his own life and his own career. It's nothing to do with the players, I guess, so nothing to say about it. Would I like him to stay? It's not our decision as players. I love him as a human being, as a friend of mine. As a player, he has done so much for this club, it's going to be the club's and his decision." Notably, Liverpool have been unbeaten in all 4 games. Salah has now failed to appear with the win at Inter, beaten in 2 of the last 3 Champions League finals, the highlight. It dragged Liverpool's Champions League campaign back on track after the horror show of a 4-1 home defeat to PSV Eindhoven a fortnight earlier that prompted Jones to declare the Reds were in the
His choice. Dominik Szoboszlai puts onus on Mohamed Salah in Liverpool's spat. Dominik Szoboszlai has had his say on the Mohamed Salah saga, with the Liverpool midfielder echoing comments he made shortly before the Egyptian's explosive outburst. Dominik Szoboszlai has insisted that Mohamed Salah needs to make a call on his future himself and indicated that his Liverpool teammates will not try and influence him in any way. Salah's time at Anfield could well be coming to an end after his outburst against the club and Arne Slot at the weekend. The 33-year-old accused Liverpool of throwing him under the bus while suggesting that someone wanted him out and claiming that his relationship with the Reds head coach had broken down. What's more, Salah has suggested that he could play his final game for Liverpool this weekend, if he hasn't already. Having been left out of the squad for Tuesday's Champions League win over Inter Milan, a decision is yet to be confirmed over whether he will return against Brighton in what will be his last game before he departs for the Africa Cup of Nations. With the tournament running until January 18th, it is possible that, should Salah secure a transfer, he might not return to Liverpool following Egypt's involvement, although Slot hasn't closed the door on him making a return to the side. Whether he will or not remains to be seen, but Szoboszlai insists the decision has to come down to Salah himself. "I'm very close with him," Szoboszlai told reporters in Milan on Tuesday. "It's nothing to do with the players. It's him and his own choice with what he is doing with his own life and his own career." Asked whether he wanted Salah to stay, he added, "It's not our decision as players. I love him as a human being, as a friend of mine. As a player, he has done so much for this club. It's going to be the club's and his decision." Szoboszlai's comments back up what the midfielder said following Liverpool's draw at Leeds on Saturday, when he insisted that any disagreements within the dressing room should stay in-house, shortly before Salah made his grievances public. "What is in the dressing room stays in the dressing room. It is not for the public. We have to manage it. We have to find solutions. I can always come up with the opportunity on Tuesday or on the weekend again, but there are also times where you have to look at yourself. You have to go home and think if you did everything what was possible, and if the answer is yes, then we just keep going and the momentum will come."
Michael Owen has already commented on Liverpool's potential Mo Salah replacement. As Mohamed Salah's Liverpool future remains uncertain following his recent remarks, Michael Owen's comments about Bournemouth's Anton Semenyo as an ideal replacement have taken on renewed significance.
Former Liverpool and Manchester United striker Michael Owen suggested midway through the previous season that Bournemouth star Antoine Semenyo could be the ideal replacement for Mohamed Salah at Anfield. At that point, Salah's long-term future at Liverpool was uncertain, and that situation has resurfaced. A year ago, the uncertainty revolved around Salah's expiring contract, but now it's due to an interview given to Liverpool.com and other media outlets at Leeds. After being named as a substitute for the third consecutive Premier League match at the weekend, Salah, 33, questioned his relationship with head coach Arne Slot and hinted at a possible exit. Consequently, Salah remained in Merseyside while the Reds visited Milan, where they triumphed over Inter in the Champions League on Tuesday. It remains unclear whether the striker, who has netted 250 goals, will ever play for Liverpool again. Speculation about a January transfer for Salah is beginning to circulate, potentially prompting the Reds to seek a player who can fill his boots. Owen saw glimpses of Salah in Semenyo when he scored a left-footed goal against Chelsea in January of the previous season. Speaking on Premier League productions, he asserted that the Ghanaian is the perfect choice. "He is a brilliant player," said the former England international. "He scores goals, and we don't know if Mohamed Salah will stay or leave, but if he leaves, Semenyo should be his replacement." Semenyo, 25, wrapped up the 2024-25 season with a tally of 13 goals and 7 assists across all competitions. In the current campaign, he has already notched up 6 goals and 3 assists, including a brace against Liverpool in the season opener at Anfield. He made the switch to the Cherries from Bristol City for a fee of £10.25 million, or $13.7 million in the previous season. Now, rumors are swirling that the forward could be up for grabs for £65 million, or $86.6 million this January, due to a release clause in his contract on the South Coast. Premier League competitors Manchester City, Manchester United, and Tottenham are among those reportedly showing interest, setting the stage for what could be a fierce battle to secure the attacker's signature.